Wow, I haven't stubbed my toe in 5 months, I said with joy. I was then shot 57 times.
At this point, do I even need to introduce Whistle Occurrence? It is easily the most popular Roblox web series out there right now. There are a lot of videos of people explaining the series created by Vibenleaf, but today, I'm going to be doing something different. Instead of just focusing on the videos themselves, I will be attempting to explain the most polarizing aspect of the series, flowers. The main antagonist of the series, I will try to explain where flowers came from, and I will explain the backstory of the series with the little information that we have, as well as an interview with the co-owner of the series. But before we can do any of that, let's watch the very first episode in the Whistle Occurrence series. On January 25th of 2023, the first video in the Whistle Occurrence series was uploaded, simply named Roblox Whistle Occurrence. It shows our main character in the episode, Helen Martin 39, playing a gun game on Roblox with possibly the worst aim I've ever seen. Dude, she's right there, just kill her! The game has a huge lag spike, and the game cuts to our player dead on the floor. But then, this happens. We can hear an audio playing in the background, a certain humming sound that confuses our player. The game begins to get darker and we begin to hear a whispering sound. Eventually, if we look up into the player tab, all of the players' names go away and we can see a name appear, which is in Hebrew. Translating this, we get the name Flowers. And right in front of our player, we can see an entity standing before him. The entity says, "Do you hear the whistle?" And then the entity disappears. This leaves the player confused. Not knowing what he just saw, he begins to search around the map again, but soon enough, he gets another glimpse of the entity as the whole screen glitches to black. We get a close-up of the entity. It seems to be glitching and moving in ways that seem impossible for Roblox. We see it transform from a normal-sized Robloxian to a tall, distorted entity, and for a split second, an image flashes on the screen that looks sort of like a face. The video cuts to blurry footage of something in the distance. It's very difficult to tell what this could be. After that, the player is disconnected from the game, and it brings the first episode of Whistle Occurrence to an end. Another thing of note is what is written in the description of the video. So I have reported that there was this player who keeps appearing on my games yesterday. I went on to record every gameplay I did after that, but he never appeared again after I've announced his shenanigans. But eventually, he came back. I do not know if this is from the game itself, or was Roblox and my device hacked to do such things, but he probably wasn't happy at that time. This proves that our player has been dealing with this entity for a while now. But what exactly is Flowers? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, the entity takes the appearance of a very tall and stretched out version of the Robloxian 2.0 bundle, but as you've seen thus far, the design of Flowers constantly changes throughout each episode, but most of the time, it keeps its tall, dark silhouette. I say most of the time because what you'll see later. And after the first one that we watched, we understand that Flowers can stalk the player for days upon end, and have the ability to kick a player from a game. What more can the entity of Flowers do? Seriously, I'm asking you guys. Well, the only way we can find out is by watching the next episode in the series. Whistle RBLX is the second episode of the series, and right away, we can see that it takes place in the early days of Roblox, around the year 2009 according to the wiki. But as we can tell, this video has a completely different player than the last episode. This separates this series from others. Instead of having one main character, Whistle Occurrence has a different perspective each time. Onto the video though, the player named VB Leaf, definitely not named after the creator of the series, is playing Dodge the Teapots of Doom. After many attempts of trying to win, the player finally reaches the end, but it isn't a Vibenleaf video unless something goes horribly wrong. We get to see footage very similar to the last episode. Then it cuts to a PSA-like video with the phrase, "Hear the whistle? Cover your ears." And then we can see a very weird video going on in the background. After this, it cuts to the player on an empty base plate. Looking around, he is standing side by side with this Flowers entity.
I'm over here stroking my
The video eventually glitches and we see the recurring phrase, "Do you hear the whistle?" After this, the video shows an article talking about this whole event. Here's what it says. Users have reported experiencing seizures while encountering the whistle. These seizures are characterized by sudden convulsions, loss of consciousness, and potential injury. While the whistle's existence remains unconfirmed, the impact on young players is undeniable. The article goes on to explain that experts and administrators have attempted to investigate the phenomenon, but to no avail. The article is cut off the screen after this. After the article is shown, it cuts back to the player's footage and the video ends. If it isn't obvious at this point, this is the earliest footage of the whistle occurrence that we have, but if the article was written at the time of this video, this isn't the first instance of this happening. It's an ongoing problem on Roblox that has happened to many users on the platform, but if the article takes place later, it may take place after one of the future videos. That's everything in this video. Let's go ahead and move on. This is the third episode on the channel, rblx.obby. The video has 3 players, Colin Martinez 10, Shrek360, and the main character, or the recorder, Glob_921. And they're playing an obby together. As they're going through, Glob begins to complain about lag. We see his friend Shrek go through the same problem, but much worse. To get a better understanding of the video, I recommend you pay attention to the typing style of their friend Shrek during this video. Their friend leaves the game, and the two of them are left confused, but as they wait, he finally returns. But something is off. If you look at his typing style before he left, it seems completely normal, but now, he ends everything with a period and wonders how to play the game even though he was just playing a couple of minutes ago, which makes it reasonable to conclude that this isn't their friend. But after they all get disconnected from the game, Glob asks the question, "Are you even our friend?" Then, he got his answer. During this transformation, we can see the word flowers in Hebrew once again, which confirms that the player was being controlled by this entity. It then cuts to the aftermath of the video. The 3 of them are in another game, talking about what just went down. Shrek says that he was logged out of his account after being kicked from the game, which makes me believe that Shrek experienced the same thing as the 2 other players did in the previous videos, which means that this video shows what happens to the victim from another point of view. Glob and Shrek come up with a $1 billion idea and decide to upload this video to YouTube so they can get popular. But Colin doesn't think that's a good idea, and after some persuasion, Colin agrees, and the video is uploaded to YouTube. And this ending perfectly segues into the next quote-unquote episode on the channel. This is technically not the 4th episode on the channel, but I want to discuss it because it's too good for me not to. We know this by the description of the video. It says that this is not canon to the series, but rather an April Fool's video relating to the series. In this case, the TikToker is explaining the events of every whistle occurrence video so far. The only thing is, everything the TikToker says in this video is false information. It's clickbait. Like most of my videos, but that doesn't count. Let's look at the video and the TikToker's claims. The user claims that in the past 3 events of the whistle occurrence, the players in those videos have died. He also claims that the users who were killed by this flowers entity haunt the games to this day, which is false. But the user does mention that Helen Martin 39 is the most recent victim of flowers. If this is true, we now have a timeline of recorded events, but eventually the voiceover stops all of a sudden. Hey man, are you gonna continue talking? I was listening. Hey, don't look at me like that, okay? I believe you. I don't know why I needed to do that. The footage glitches out once again, and it shows the TikToker's avatar stretched out. We can hear someone saying something, but I can't quite understand what it is. After this, the user tells us we should stay away from flowers at all costs. Wow, thanks. Fork found in kitchen. After what was stated by the TikTok user, we can see that a lot of information is false. Like, come on, an entity on Roblox can kill people in real life? That's just stupid. Right? The description of the video reads, uploaded between 2013 and 2014. It's not confirmed as the video was taken from a forum as the original was lost, but this was the earliest footage taken of the whistle occurrence. The video we're about to see was the earliest footage of the whistle occurrence up until episode 2, I guess. Right off the bat, the video already has a completely different tone than the rest. It's not straight to gameplay footage, it gives us a warning stating, warning, this video contains heavy flashing lights and very loud audio. Please heed with caution. We are not off to a great start. The video begins with a stream startup screen, and eventually, we get to meet our player of the episode, named Torchwood YT, and in this stream, he needs to talk about Roblox. He goes on a rant about how he's being wrongfully banned on Roblox.
Bought, some Roblox stuff, and they repay me by banning me.
He does make some good points during his rant session. Soon enough, he gets interrupted. He then notices something at the spawn area. He goes up and sees an NPC and instantly calls it ugly. He clicks on the chat box and it begins to say here. He clicks on it again, ears covered. He then thinks this is going nowhere, so he throws the NPC off the map. After this, it's the point of no return. His screen freezes and begins to glitch to black, like we've seen before in the first episode of the series. He is spawned into a red version of the game he was in before. It's obvious that he's confused about what's going on, because he thinks that the whole thing's a troll. After looking around for a while, the footage glitches out once again, and he's taken to a version of those Roblox errors that you'll come across every once in a while. But then...
Right? Am I still streaming? You guys are seeing this, right? I have never... Oh, Jesus!
He is teleported to a seemingly endless baseplate of the NPCs like before, with white fog making it so the player can't see where anything is. And I just want to say, this is the best part of the video. This area has creepy music playing in the background, giving off this drone-like feeling of endlessness. He walks up to an NPC and it says, unused_translation system 0. The only way Torch can reply is by saying 0. After choosing one of the 4, the NPC responds by saying, you have violated the terms of ... This may be referring to the bans that Torch has been dealing with in the past. The next NPC begins with the same thing. This time, he clicks another 0. This time, the NPC says, ban evasion will lead you to nowhere. After Torch speaks to the next NPC, after saying 0, it simply says print parenthesis. But the next one seems to be important. After saying 0, the NPC says, Roblox introduces its new ... This line will support my theory later. The screen glitches and Torch begins to complain about lag, and like we've seen many times before, lag is not a good thing at all. Torch goes up to another NPC and it says audio has been muted, but then he decides to talk to the same NPC again by using a different 0. This time it says Roblox security-dev00 flowers. The screen glitches out once again and we're shown a quick frame of a different version of the baseplate. The sky is red just like the other footage that we've seen. After it cuts to normal, the NPC says flowers has been successfully launched. This might be a shot in the dark, but the frame that we might have seen earlier must have been flowers starting up or something. That's probably very wrong. This can be explained in greater detail later. After this, his avatar begins to walk towards the fog on its own.
I can't move. I can't move. What is happening? I can't move. I can't move.
The screen cuts to black after this. We are then able to see what happened next. Torch seems to have been turned into the NPCs, I think. It only makes sense to me because 1, he can't move, and 2, he's at the same eye level as everyone else. But it's not 100% that this is true. He could have just lost the ability to walk in game. Torch begins to see something in the distance, and then Torch saying, I can't, begins to repeat over and over. And I'm just gonna let this whole part play because it's just insane.
I can't. Hey guys, I can't. I can't. What is that? I need to talk about Roblox. I can't.
After that went down, we can hear Torch's sister walk into the room, wondering what happened to him, but she found him shaking on the ground, unable to move. Based on the article that we saw in episode 2, Torch most likely suffered a seizure. This is most likely when the article came out, and after that, episode 4 comes to an end.
I'm getting up! I'm scared, Mom! You need to call an ambulance!
Episode 4 opened many doors for theories about what's going on, but in this section, I will come up with my theory about Flowers' origins and how he works. And I do want to say, there isn't an actual origin that's confirmed, so I'm taking a complete shot in the dark with this, only using the information that has been shown to us. This section may be very wrong, so don't take it as 100% the truth. Also, if you have your theory that you would like to share with me, be sure to tell me in the comments below. Anyway, on with my theory. I personally believe that Flowers was created by Roblox themselves, but not the version that you see the entity in today. It could have been originally meant for good, and here's why I think that. In the fog area in episode 4, if we include all the lines relating to code, the NPC stating Roblox introduces its new the NPC that says Roblox security-dev00 flowers, and all the lines relating to ban evasion and violating the terms of service, it makes me believe that Flowers, the entity that is responsible for kicking users from their game at any time, identity theft to deceive other users, and the hospitalization or death of many Roblox users, was once meant to be an AI to make the platform a better place. Which also makes sense why the name Flowers was given to the AI. It was meant for good, but now the name doesn't make sense because of the version that we see it in. Overall, Roblox came up with this AI to make the platform a better place, but at some point in time, Flowers went rogue and became the entity that we see it in today. How exactly did that happen? I don't know. But of course, that's just my theory. It's not 100% set in stone, and I'm sure in the coming episodes in the series, we will get more information about the true backstory of Flowers. But in the meantime, the most we can do with the information shown to us is to come up with our own ideas ourselves. Or maybe we could just ask the co-owner of the series.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm your host, Shrek360.
Okay, we're here with the co-owner of the series. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Caramiliaz. I made the whistle, I think. I don't know.
I have like a couple questions. I have them right here, as you can hear. Yeah. Question 1. What is the main inspiration behind Flowers?
There's a few things that Leaf has said to me, both in private and public. When Whistle Occurrence first came out, it was a parody of like the standard for horror at the time, which I believe was like analog stuff. So it had like the whole weird pitch black entity with like a foreign name because, you know, foreign languages are very scary. Oh. Leaf told me that he got inspired to create it, and this isn't a joke, when he watched Puss in Boots 2 and like, you know Death from that movie?
Yes, what the heck?
I am not joking. That is completely true.
Question number 2. What is your favorite video in the Whistle Occurrence series and why?
Has to be Whistle Occurrence livestream tragedy, episode 4. Episode 4 has an interesting amount of history. The entire concept of episode 4 ended up changing while it was still in development. It was very different to what came out now, but ultimately what we have is so much better. I love it.
Question number 4. Where do you see the future of Whistle Occurrence?
The thing with Whistle Occurrence is, and this is something that I have like tried to kind of iterate to people before, is that do not expect it to be like big when it's done. Leaf never intended for this to like be like a series. While we are finishing it, it's not going to be anything massive in terms of like how many episodes there will be, but we do have some ideas for extra episodes that are a bit more like serious, since most of the ones that are currently out are mainly jokes and not canon.
Question 5. In the next couple of videos or episodes in Whistle Occurrence, will they dive more into the backstory of Flowers? You don't have to answer this.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see.
Cut the black.
Be sure to stay tuned to the end.
Even with only 4 episodes, the Whistle Occurrence showcases some of the best world building I have ever seen, and honestly, the idea of having each episode be a different protagonist is great. It truly shows how powerful this entity is. And by the way, if you want to see the full interview, it will be uploaded on my second channel within a couple of days, so stay tuned. And once again, if you have your own theories about this series, I'd love to hear them, but our theories can only be answered